What's going on, you guys? This is Eric Banks, and we're jumping into my NBA eras. We're gonna go ahead and take on the Steph Curry era during the Warriors dynasty. And what team we're selecting today? We're going with the San Antonio Spurs. And during that era, they had 1 year in particular that could have changed NBA history as we know it, and that is the 16-17 season. We all know what happened when the San Antonio Spurs reached the Western Conference Finals to face Kevin Durant, Curry, and all them Warriors boys. Man, they went out there and hurt my dude Kawhi, man. So we're going to try and rewrite the wrong, and let's see how many NBA championships the San Antonio Spurs can win during the Steph Curry era. Alright, so during this season, I believe this is the 2016-17 season, and already the Spurs got a stacked roster, but we're going to make some changes before we even get into the 16-17 season. And during this season, the Warriors do acquire Kevin Durant in that blockbuster trade that basically sent the NBA into a spiral, and nobody could really beat the Warriors in a sense, other than, the year previous to this one, which was the Cleveland Cavaliers and the GOAT James. So, anywho, we're gonna jump in and try to edit this roster and try to give it as stacked as we can. Let go of some players that I know that would piss some of the San Antonio Spurs off, but we're gonna have to do it no matter what. We're gonna have to let loose, cut some ties, and try to win an NBA championship. Now, if we're putting it into realistic terms, this is 2016-17. This was the only year the Spurs legit had a chance. Anything after this, that's when Kawhi went down with that, injury the following year and basically forced his way out of San Antonio, got to Toronto. So the previous year, the Spurs went 47-35. The year after that, 48-34. After that, this was the pandemic season, 32-39. So they drastically went on a decline, and eventually acquiring DeMar DeRozan to pair up with Marcus Aldridge. And, it just never went as to what our expectations hoped for. So let's see what we could find and trade and try to make this team better. First, I'm going to go ahead and trade my guy, Tony Parker. He's already 34, up in age. You know what? I could actually kind of bundle some guys. I see DeJounte Murray's on the squad still. We can stash him and look to develop him, but a lot of these guys, I'm telling you right now, a lot of these guys are not gonna be on this team when the season starts. Basically, the only untouchables I got is Kawhi and LaMarcus. Everybody else, man, Ginobili is tough, but in 2K, in every 2K I've played, Ginobili, Parker, if you try to do a my league with them, they're not gonna produce for whatever reason. I don't know if that's just me. It could be for other people as well, but for some reason they just don't produce. They'll give you those, they give you 10 points for a season. That's it. The highest I've ever seen Tony Parker on any of my league builds that I've done in the past is no more than 12 points. So we could find a trade ideally for those guys, those two. Like I said, this will piss off some San Antonio fans because we're letting go or trying to trade, some Spurs all-time greats. But, we have 1 to 2, maybe 3 years to try and win as many NBA championships as we can during Curry's and the Warriors era. So let's see what we could do. I believe Andre Iguodala is not on the Warriors. Let's try and see. I think I had seen that somewhere that he's not on the Warriors active roster. Yeah, Iguodala is not on the roster. So there is a couple players during this era that I think even Blake Griffin also. Blake Griffin's not. I think I might have passed the Clippers. Let me see. The Clippers. You see, Blake Griffin is not here. So what are the Clippers without Blake Griffin? when you only got Chris Paul and DeAndre Jordan. So a lot of teams are gonna look very different than their actual counterpart in real life. So let's jump into the trade finder and let's see what we can get. All right, so the first proposed, or the first find that we can find for a trade, I'm putting up just Pau Gasol, but they're actually looking to bundle Kyle Anderson for Bobby Portis and Robin Lopez. I don't know. I do know Bobby Portis during this time, there's a lot of potential there, and we do need a backup for LaMarcus. But let's see. Look, DeAndre Jordan's a good part too. Younger than Pau Gasol, he could get up there, just get those boards. But Dwight Howard also. These contracts should look. Oh, never mind, Dwight Howard. Nah. I mean, DeAndre Jordan's looking good, and we pair up Ginobili with Gasol to send him over for Rivers and DeAndre. Splitter, we don't want him. Hassan Whiteside is good too. But I'm looking at those contracts, But you know what, that's actually a good trade. I'll keep my eye on that. But let's just keep looking around, because we do need a starting center to play alongside LaMarcus. Where I think I passed it. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and do this trade. This is gonna be our first one off the bat. Pau Gasol, Ginobili for Hassan Whiteside and Lee Mason. Lee Mason obviously is not making the cut. If I could just take it, can I edit this? Let me edit this, and let's just do straight up. Or does the Heat have another guy that we could try and take away? Man, what's with the Heat? Man, they got all these creative players. What? They got 7 real players. Everybody else they're not real. I mean, if you recognize anybody starting from Lee Mason all the way down to Roger Kramer, these guys are not. That's tough. 2K doing some of these teams bad, bro. I mean, jeez. I mean, if we'll try. I mean, fuck it, we'll try to get. We do need a starting point guard, but no one is really interesting me on the Heat. So let's just see if we can do that right away. Illegal trade. The Heat are over the salary cap. All right. So they do need to get rid of somebody. So due to the salary cap, we're forced to take this trade as is, and it's tough to see Manu go, an all-time great Spur, but unfortunately, this has to happen if we want to bring an NBA championship back to San Antonio in the limited time that we do have during this era. So let's just go ahead and do this. Let's just do Tony Parker. We'll go down one by one and see what we do need a starting point. So let's see what's out there. We could go all in with DeJounte, may have him start early than he actually did in real life. And let's just straight ahead, let's just trade Tony for a younger piece to put maybe on our bench, or maybe we could find something that could slip into our starting lineup. Who knows? I'm very tempted in taking this. Very tempted, even though it's a 1-year rental with Darren Williams. What did he average this past season with the Mavericks? 14 points compared to already okay. Wesley, 12 points compared to yeah, this we actually got to do something because Patty Mills is on his last year. So yeah, let's just go ahead and make this trade, take it as is. Yeah, let's do it. So we add 2 more pieces to the roster: Kawhi Leonard, Hassan Whiteside, LaMarcus, Darren Williams, Wesley Matthews, Danny Green. That's pretty nice, but we do gotta look for a backup small. And I'm gonna start DeJounte Murray. F it, where there's nobody out there for point guard. So Darren Williams will be our backup. So we're gonna start DeJounte. Let's look for a trade for Kyle. I'll do Jeremy Grant. Let's do this trade. F it. Don't care about the. We'll do pick for pick. Don't matter. We're trying to win right away. So rosters so far, and all these are just created players. But I believe we're gonna stop right there as far as trades. Everybody from Jeremy Grant all the way up to Kawhi Leonard is gonna stay on the team. Everybody here below Jeremy Grant, they're not getting any type of minutes. Do we have a backup center? I don't even think we don't have a backup center. Oh my jeez. We do not have a backup center. Where'd he go? Oh, here he is. Let's give him 2 years. We'll pay. We'll give him some money. We'll give him a 5. Nah, we'll give him 2 mil. Let's see if he even negotiates. Option. Let's go team option. Awesome. So now we got our backup center. So here's what we're looking like with our lineup. We got DeJounte Murray starting a couple years earlier than when he actually did start. Danny Green, we're keeping him in the starting lineup. Kawhi Leonard's going to lead this team. I'm giving him 38 minutes to go out there and do work. And let's hope his knees hold up for this whole rebuild. LaMarcus Aldridge, Hassan Whiteside, Darren Williams, the 6th man, Wesley, Larry Sanders backing up Hassan. We're giving Berton some minutes. And then Jeremy Grant is the odd man out, and I'm only able to give him 5 minutes. But you know what? Let's edit that. Let's give Bertans 10, 13. There you go. I'd rather have Jeremy Grant out there. So that is our lineup. And let's see how we go ahead and we start this season. And during the simulation, this is our first serious injury we run into. Is LaMarcus Aldridge, a torn right MCL, out 8 to 10 weeks. So about 2 months, maybe even 3, but about 2 months. That's a big blow, considering we did start off the season pretty slow, and then we started to build some momentum. We're currently on, I believe, a 10-game win streak. We're currently sitting at 12-5. So for this to happen just as the Spurs are hitting their stride that sucks. And we don't have really the potential anybody to back up LaMarcus really. So I came to a stop just to see how everything was going, and I noticed that Danny Green was iced, and I went ahead and edited the lineups, moved Wesley Matthews into the starting 2 spot. But Danny Green is shooting 23% from 3. That can't happen. No, sir. That cannot happen. So we're gonna keep reducing his minutes, get him down to 20 minutes, get Jeremy Grant more involved, and I'll stop at the All-Star break and see. We've run into our second major injury on a time where the Spurs are on a roll. They're 23-5 or 25-5 at this point. They haven't lost since dropping a couple games from the beginning of the year. Despite Aldridge going down, they still are up there. I haven't checked their seed. They're second in the conference or third. Dude, I can't really see due to the blur. But with Kawhi going down 6 to 8 weeks, that's 2 months. With no Kawhi Leonard, our best player, this is tough. This hurts. But I mean, luckily this is happening before the All-Star break. Now the Spurs are 21-5 and are on a massive losing streak. Even though they lost Kawhi Leonard, they still won that game big time versus the Phoenix Suns. But the last loss is on November the 4th. And since then, they've taken off. Look at that. They started off, 1-5? 1-5 and have gone on a 20-game win streak without Kawhi. Or without LaMarcus, my bad. I do expect for us to take just a little bit of a tumble down the stretch. But let's just go ahead and sim right before the trade deadline. So we get LaMarcus back from injury. We're on a 22-game win streak currently. And we're going to go ahead and jump him back into the starting lineup. So we get Kawhi Leonard finally back. And we only dropped, I believe, 1 or 2 games since the time that he was out. So we'll have the CPU adjust the rotation, give him back his minutes. And let's see where we get up until the trade deadline. And we're at the midway point right before the trade deadline. And the Spurs are 43-8. Currently number 2 in the Western Conference, only behind the Warriors, and we're actually tied. Would you look at that? We're tied for number 1 on a 6-game win streak currently. 9-1 in our last 10 games. The Warriors and us have basically separated themselves from the pack. A little more over than 9 games above 3rd place. So really it's the Spurs and Warriors league right now. So the Toronto Raptors 45-8, a league best. What in the world? Who's on the roster? Okay, so they got it clicking. I guess this is the same team from many years back. They got Meta World Peace on the team? What? Crazy. All right. DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry finally putting everything together. Cleveland right behind, only under 7 games back. Let's check out how Danny Green is doing. Oh, I pressed it wrong. So Danny Green upped his 3-point percentage. I think before we went into the break, he was shooting at 23%. So tremendously better. From the way he was able to pick up his 3-point percentage in such short time. He's going to stay on the roster. I don't care. He's going to stay on the roster. If he's able to play defense, that's great. No little less than under steal. But he does get a block. And, his 3-point shooting is key and pivotal for us to try and get another championship. So we run into yet another injury. And this is literally just a game after that sim. Once I started the simulation. Hassan Whiteside he just came back from injury. He played the 1 game. Let's not forget he went down with an injury. So he came back for the 1 game and he's out for the year. Now we don't have a starting center. And now the deadline has already passed. Or I think we're a day behind. So let's see. Let's see if we could even get a trade. Trade deadline day. So let's see if we could get a trade for a starting center. That's the only. Damn it. We don't get any better. Man, all right. Jan Mahimi, former Spur. Can he rebound? I'm pretty sure he can rebound. Rebounds an A B+. So let's see. Oh, that's tough, man. I mean, Jan Mahimi is gonna have to be the guy. We just need him for boards. Not our starting center, but our starting center is gonna have to be Larry Sanders. So let's just go ahead and do this trade, and we'll have CPU fix the lineups because this is Larry Sanders is starting. That's what's gonna have to happen. I'll catch up to you guys once we get to the playoffs. So here we are, yet another injury. Larry Sanders goes down with a severe ankle sprain, 4 to 6 weeks. So that's already about 2 months. I mean, if they're all getting hurt early, I know Hassan's done for the year, but as long as we can have everybody back by playoff time, that's what I'm hoping on and fixing on for, right? So F it. And this first season comes to a close. The Steph Curry is the MVP. Joel Embiid is the Rookie of the Year. Man, this is actually kind of confusing me because I'm like, this is way back when, 2017, and we're in 2024. So looking back at this is kind of like, damn. Eric Gordon is your 6th Man of the Year. Giannis wins Defensive Player of the Year before he started to come around as a player, as one of the all-time, great players that we have in the game currently. Nikola Jokic, Most Improved, and a couple years later he would be the MVP and one of the, if not the best player in the league. Coach of the Year, Stephen Butler, and I believe they finished off with the league best 69 wins and 13 losses for the Toronto Raptors. And if anything, it's looking like they are our biggest threat in a chase for a championship. They're number 1 in the East and number 1 in the entire league. Our head coach is, this is our Executive of the Year, Christopher Todd, and that's me. That's me. I'm the one pulling up all the strings. We finished with a record of 69 and 13, playing all around good basketball at 90s all around. Okay, let's see what our lineups are looking like. So we're the first seed. We out-edged the Golden State Warriors for the number 1 seed. That's already an accomplishment within itself. But we got to check on these minutes if Kawhi's even playing. It looks like he is. But one last check for our minutes as we head into the playoffs. LaMarcus Aldridge, what's going on? Right ankle sprain. So it looks like we're going to go into the first couple games without him. Let's go ahead and simulate the first round. Let's see what we got going. So the Spurs end up taking down the Houston Rockets in a gentleman's sweep 4-1, and we get a matchup with Denver and a young Nikola Jokic. Golden State sweeps the Kings. Over here, Toronto ends their matchup in 5. Cleveland again, they take out Miami, so Miami ended up seeing LeBron. The young Denver Nuggets, that's with Nikola Jokic and them boys. I think around this time they had Emmanuel Mudiay. I would believe so. They had Emmanuel Mudiay during this time. So the Spurs take a 2-0 lead. Let's see. The Spurs end up taking down the Denver Nuggets 4-1. And as we see, Toronto is a participant in their conference finals too. So pretty much everything going as we predicted, with the top 4 teams looking like they're gonna end up going and playing for the conference final. As Cleveland's up 3-2, Golden State's up 3-2. So let's go ahead and simulate the second round. So yeah, just as we predicted, the top 4 teams of the regular season are meeting up in the conference finals of both conferences. That's crazy. Toronto Raptors with the league leading, I believe, 63 wins if I'm not mistaken, maybe even more. Best team in the league for this year. Let's check out our rosters. So Kawhi Leonard's back. That's great. Great news. I thought he was out for the year. And we got Hassan Whiteside back for the fold. Are you serious? I thought he was out for the year. What a comeback, right? That's crazy. This is the first time I'm seeing these lineups. All right, Jan Mahimi's down. Okay, I'll take it. But we got LaMarcus and Hassan back for the freaking conference finals. This is huge. And let me go ahead and put in DeJounte to start over Darren Williams. I know he's on fire. But we got young guys that we're going up against with the Warriors. So as far as that, everything looks good. Everything looks good. All right, let's go ahead and simulate game 1. So we take game 1. Cleveland takes game 1. (2-0) lead for the Spurs, and it's 1-1 for Toronto and Cleveland. Let's keep on going. A 3-0 lead for the San Antonio Spurs against the Golden State Warriors in Curry's era. So we're 1 win away from an NBA Finals berth. And over there on the Eastern Conference, Toronto and Cleveland are battling it out. Let's sim this round. So it's the San Antonio Spurs going against the Toronto Raptors. Ironically, in the next 2 seasons in real life, the Spurs would end up making a deal with the Toronto Raptors that would send Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green in exchange for DeMar DeRozan and Jakob Poeltl. And about a year or 2 previously, in our simulation, they meet up in the finals. This is crazy. Let's sim. Game 1. I did not sim by game. I simmed the whole damn round. And we lose in 6. Oh my god. I just wanted to check out game by game the minutes and how the players were doing, but the Spurs go down in our first year in 6 to the Toronto Raptors. They put it all together. They even beat LeBron in 5. Toronto Raptors, your NBA champions for the first season of this NBA sim during Curry's era. DeMar DeRozan, a future Spur, would be the finals MVP. Wow. So the first season comes to a close. The Spurs fall short of an NBA championship. Let's check out the game 6. Oh, look at this. No, you can't have this. And we lose by 3. You can't. Darren Williams 2 for 6. Wesley Matthews 2 for 7. Kawhi, man, our LaMarcus needed more touches than just 9 shots. All right, let's see. Kyle Lowry led the way, but even then, is that Jared Sullinger? That is Jared Sullinger. Why is he taking 13 shots a game? But man, we lose like that. Meta World Peace gets another ring. And Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan put all the strings together. They finally take down LeBron. League's best also win and win the whole damn thing. Damn. I'm kind of hurt because I auto sim by accident the whole round. I was gonna go game by game. I'm hurt. I'm hurt. I'll make another video for the second season. We got 2 more seasons to be able to get as many championships as we can. We got to go 2 for 2 on our next one. That is crazy. That's wild.